Hi everybody, and welcome back to another Shearer Smokes. And you join me here in Glen, and just over my shoulder is the Castle Campbell. And after my last two videos concerning the cities of London and Edinburgh, it's great to get back up amongst the Glen and amongst the hills, and this is where I feel much more at home. And here's a little bit of drone footage just to give you an idea of the views. So quite a good day for filming. Only a light wind up here, so yeah, so perfect conditions, as I said. And it really is a nice evening. It's just going 20 past 5 now, and yeah, it's another good spot. So as I said, Castle Campbell in the background. Unfortunately, it's closed temporarily at the moment. I think there's a bit of refurb going on. It's owned by Historic Scotland, and they take really good care of their sites, and of course with the age there's a lot of care, attention needed around the works, so I think that's what's going on at the moment. But hopefully come summertime it will be reopened to the public. But a little bit of history about the castle itself. Historians think there was some kind of wooden or stone keep just on that exact spot, maybe around about the 12th century, as it has two natural gorges on either side, so it's a great location for some kind of fortified housing. And it wasn't really until the 15th century it was taken over by the then Earls and Dukes of Argyll, and they held it until the 19th century. Now, I did have a couple of famous visitors. Mary Queen of Scots came to visit in the 16th century, and another famous name, John Knox, the preacher, he arrived in 1556 and then again in 1564, where he actually preached from one of the lower ramparts, and it's actually now known as Knox's pulpit. So yeah, so a couple of notable visitors. The main tower that you can see actually dates back to the 1430s, and when I come to visit these places, it always astounds me the dates involved and the pure craftsmanship that allows these buildings to stand the test of time, and they're still standing today. This has quite a good source of memories for me, as I grew up in the town of Dollar, which is just below the castle. And I remember my gran, she had a great friend who was actually one of the trustees of the castle, and we would take a trip up to come and visit my gran's friend, and we'd stay for tea and scones, and then we would head down. But my gran, being my gran, didn't take the easy route. We came up through the Glen, which is quite treacherous. Even today, it's quite treacherous. So I can't imagine what it would have been like for my gran having to take a toddler, because I don't think I was even at primary school by then. She would take me up the Glen to visit her friend, and I actually have a picture. I need to rake it out and see if I can find it. It's my granddad holding me just on the top of the tower at the ramparts there. I'll try and see if I can search that one out. But yeah, it's always been, as I said, a huge source of great memories, taking my kids there, taking visitors that have come from overseas. Yeah, and it truly is a magnificent looking castle, and on a day like today, which is just slightly overcast, you can see how when the weather changes and the clouds descend, it gets its name, Castle Gloom. But thankfully it's not too gloomy today. As I said, there's a slight wind, but it's still nice and mild, and for this time of the evening I think it's a nice time for a pipe. And the pipe in question, well, of course, with being the castle in the background, I had to go for the Peterson Dracula, and I'll pop a close-up of that later in the video. And in the bowl I've gone for, it's actually a sample that I picked up from Gareth and Hogarth, and it's a rich dark spring dew, which is a mixture of Virginias and Burleys. There's a slight flavouring of maple and honeydew, and it also has that lakeland essence, so it does have that kind of soapy start to it, but there's a nice sweetness coming through thanks to that honey, and it's working really, really well. So as I said, a complete contrast to my last two videos, and yeah, this is it's a good place to come and unwind. I just finished work this morning, go back in tomorrow for back-to-back double shift, so yeah, nice to get some quiet time before heading back to work tomorrow. And it was a good spot to test out the drone on higher ground, and it seemed to cope quite well as long as the wind conditions are favourable. I think it does quite a good job, and gives you a good idea of the views that are here. I'm going to take a wander down a little while, down to where the burn is, and I'll get some shots of that to share with you. It's quite a nice spot down there as well. This is just perfect. I'm glad I waited. I did plan to come out in the morning when I finished work, but I'm glad I held off until this time in the evening, and yeah, I think I made the right choice. A little bit of sun coming through the clouds now, a little bit of warmth seeping through, it's quite nice. A rather shorter video this episode, but I hope you've still enjoyed the views. As I said, I'm going to take a wander down a little while, and I'll add that footage on. So yeah, I hope everybody's well. I'm off this weekend, so looking forward to that. If you're lucky to be off this weekend or free, then I hope you have a good one. And until the next time, as always, my name's Shearer. Enjoy your smokes.